how's it going,
Oh,
eSports?
sorry. No, yeah, that's my turn. It's a beautiful day on Summoner's Rift as Team Sky prepares to face off against Warm Winter Buddies. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to Ascension eSports' Phoenix League. My name is the Sage One on your play-by-play casting commentary, and joining me is FrostyB on that color casting analysis. How you doing, buddy?
I'm doing absolutely wonderful. Glad we actually got into this game, because having some issues with Riot's API. We have some pretty natural bans coming out. Kha'Zix and Rengar, pretty popular picks, being taken away from both teams.
Yep, top tier junglers already getting banned out here in this phase. Who is left, though? Because we've been seeing a lot of junglers go just picked, banned in general in this meta. Who's left?
So there's a couple of picks that are still available. Ivern is still always going to be a threat.
Right.
Papa being a popular top lane ban. Somebody who's pretty commonly picked for a team fighting prowess.
By the way, I'm quiet. Chat
You're
is
quiet.
Apparently.
You are quiet. Huh.
I am quiet.
You probably aren't quiet anymore.
Hello. Chat, please confirm with me if I am okay. Can you guys hear me? All right. But bans already coming out again in the second tier of the ban phase. Camille and Poppy as well in that top lane.
This should not be a Frosty solo cast. I hope it's not.
Yeah, me neither.
Yeah, that'd be kind of not as fun.
Right.
Camille on the red side ban, not wanting that to go over.
Yep.
Vladimir still available. Commonly,
Vladimir, yeah, sorry, go ahead.
yeah, I'm curious to see if any of these teams watching the NACS are going to pull out the legendary Piglet Karthus pick
Right.
from yesterday. I absolutely enjoyed that going over, but
Yeah.
red team not wanting to concede over Lulu. Lulu being typically picked or banned in the LCS and NACS scenes. This is, by the way, Diamond 1 Plus ELO. Everyone on Team Sky is in Challenger except for, I believe, Huge Red is it Trance?
I think Trans maybe. He's in like D1 Masters.
Trance
something
is
like
92 LP Master, and
Right.
for this team,
Yeah.
and everyone on WWB is mid to high diamond. I think Comms is currently in plat, so a possible exploit for this team.
Picks going back and forth here in this phase. Team Sky picks up the Lucian as the first pick. They heavily prioritize the ADC role over on Warm Winter Bunnies. They got the Karma for the bot lane as well as Sir Celery on the Graves.
Yeah, Lucian being the most consistent champion right now, somebody you can pick into anything, on any comp and versus any comp. With the changes to Bork, and the slight change to his Q, bringing him into popularity. But Nidalee also being picked up by this side. When you have Lucian and Graves up, it's not uncommon to see Graves being a pretty quick pickup on the other side. Interesting to see a Misfortune pick. Typically, you'd see that into a Malzahar or a Zyra as kind of a counter pick, but you could also pick it early if you were going for a certain comp. But Karma being picked up on the red side, I kind of want to see like an Orianna or something as kind of a supportive pick on blue team to help cater with a support that does almost exclusively damage.
Right. We usually see that come out from teams where they'll have a very supportive style bot lane and they'll stay back, they can poke, but then their mid lane and their top lane are the more engaged style champions. And that's what higher ELO players love to do, is they love to pull out those certain types of comps.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm receiving information that SN Comms has a Smurf in Master Tier, so he or at least in a higher ELO. So though his current main is only in Platinum ELO, that's the count he's using for this event, and is not as exploitable as I had once expected.
Quick picks going back
Mordekaiser.
and forth. Yeah, we got the Maokai over onto the right side. Even the Mordekaiser there in that bot lane. We know that pick has been hovering around higher ELO solo queue. It's not really been pulled out in lower ELO. but we're going to be seeing that here in this game as well as that Victor.
Interesting. This is like a really interesting comp that I didn't expect to come out.
Yeah.
I don't know exactly the strategy that they're going for with it, because it's a bunch of damage, almost like a KT Rosa or MVP style. We're just gonna beat you in lane so hard that it wouldn't matter what your team fight looks like. We're on WWB. They have the Graves pick, Karma, Ezreal, relatively safe champions, and Graves does a lot in the early game to put pressure on their opponent. There's the Vladimir that I was possibly expecting as a ban, but coming out as a pick for Mango the Mangus.
The very OP pick, but there's a lot more mid laners, not that are better than it, but maybe are a little bit more long range. And Mango the Mangus maybe just says, "I want the Ahri over it," and that's perfectly fine as well.
Yeah. Also a possibility, pulling out a different champion. Anytime I say that this person's likely to be picked, the caster curse tells me that's not going to happen. But hey, we have some interesting teams here.
Right. Let's go over them.
Well, we have the Team Sky, the one that I was really excited to look at today, our quote unquote favorite of the match. And legit, anytime I say this team is likely to win, it turns out the other team pulls out something impressive. But I don't think this is the decided game just yet. The interesting picks, I don't know if Team Sky is coming up with some next level strats that I have yet to see, or if they're trolling me or what. But Mordekaiser in the top lane is not something that I've seen in recent time. Maybe they're scouting out high level Korea, and this is something that has surpassed my eye. But Sacida on Mordekaiser, Coma on Nidalee, Mancloud on Victor, Fear on Lucian, and Trance on Misfortune in the bot lane.
Exactly. But a little bit of information that I do know about Mordekaiser in the top lane is his laning phase is almost unbeatable, because you put your W on the front minion and it almost kind of auto pushes the wave, and it's a lot of healing, a lot of sustain coming out there in the top lane. But let's talk about lane to lane matchups. I want to know some analysis about them. In the top lane, it's Mordekaiser versus Maokai. How does that matchup go?
Well, we have Mordekaiser as a big lane bully. The third Q and Mordekaiser does a lot of damage, but Maokai is really tanky. It's more of a back reliant lane. If Maokai gets an early F back where Graves comes top and gets a good handshake for Maokai, and Maokai comes back into lane with Bambi Cinder, he can control the lane, but at the same time, Maokai just does a bunch of damage. Graves and Nidalee both tend to be pretty ganky jungles. They don't like to farm and wait, where recently Graves has spent a lot of time in his enemy team's jungle in LCS and NACS and LCK, where Graves can just take over by being able to outdo most of the current other meta junglers. Even Kha'Zix being getting the isolation damage. Graves is just a prowess and commonly picked or banned in almost every game. In the mid lane, Ahri versus Victor is quite a bit of a skill matchup. I think that Victor's late game is a lot of where he excels, and Ahri is pretty strong in the early game. So I think as a champion, Ahri might have a little bit of advantage earlier, and Victor would have a bit stronger of a time in the later half of the game. And in the bot lane, it's kind of interesting because Lucian Misfortune is a bit of a bully lane, where both of these marksmen have almost one of the strongest early games of any champions in the bot lane for marksmen, and both of them are seen as bullies, as the AD carry style. But when you put them both in the lane, they're just going to come out and do so much damage. But Karma possibly being the catalyst for that, putting out some, I guess, front end sustain with her shields, where Ezreal's more of a can be a bully in lanes, but after Ezreal's first back and he gets mana and Lucian Misfortune get damage, I feel it's going to be hard for Ezreal Karma to do much in this lane. Yeah. And especially after the first back when Tetfear is going to get some damage for himself. But I think if Team Sky falls behind, it'll be exceedingly hard for them to come back into this game with a pretty unimpressive front line. I guess Coma and Sita can itemize for that, but I think that as a draft, it's an early game versus a late game. We'll see what happens from it.
Yep, we're going to be heading on into the loading screen, guys, but do not go anywhere. Phoenix League's Team Sky versus Warm Winter Buddies. We'll be right back. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the game itself. Team Sky versus Warm Winter Buddies. My name is The Saved One on your play-by-play casting commentary. Joining me is FrostyB. How do you feel after that draft, man?
Well, I think it was an interesting time. I'm really excited to see what these teams do with it, but unfortunately, one of the players did not connect.
That's perfectly okay.
Yeah, that is totally fine.
While we have this time, Frosty, let's introduce these teams over onto the blue side. It's Team Sky. Sita in the top lane, Coma in the jungle, Mandatory Cloud in the mid lane, TET Fear in the bot lane, and Trans TV1 on support.
Yeah, and their opponents, WWB, Z3P on the top lane, Sir Celery in the jungle, Mango the Magus in the mid lane, Honey as AD carry, and Huge Red Panda on support.
There you go. So after that drafting went by, you were talking a lot about how the bot lane and how Ezreal Karma is going to suffer in this lane a lot. But who do you think won the drafting phase and why?
It's hard to say. Absolutely hard to say. And mainly because these teams are going to be playing these comps in starkly different styles. And if Team Sky gets behind, then they lose the draft. But if they get ahead enough, then their draft is won. So it depends. In the first 10 to 20 minutes of this game, we'll likely decide. Well, within the first 15 minutes of the game, the fate of the rest of it is likely to be decided. So we'll see what teams or what Sir Celery and Coma do to either propel one team or diminish the other. So if WWB is able to let scale, then it's likely that they can take the game by team fighting. But we'll see what happens. I'm really, really curious to see how they execute on their compositions that they pulled out for us.
Yep, you were talking about compositions. What is Team Sky's comp supposed to do here in this game?
Well, they have a bunch of bully lanes, except for Mandatory Cloud, who's a bit more of a scaling presence. But their team absolutely has to get ahead early. So I imagine Coma's going to be looking to doing some extra pressure ganks where hopefully all of their lanes will be pushing, so Coma can put as much pressure as he wants to in each of these lanes. But it looks like we're actually going to get started here.
There we go.
Hey.
We're back in it. Top laner finally connects. Let's see if there's any cheesy style plays here, or if it's just the normal 5-point start coming out from both of these teams. Ping's already going down there to the bottom side. It looks like Warm Winter Buddies want to maybe go for an invade or just scouting it out. It looks like they're going for a 5-point start.
Yeah,
very
it
respectful
looks like
here.
Pulling out the standard line of scrimmage, not letting any of the teams and not letting any of the enemy walk into their base. So Celery's taking a little bit of damage.
Yeah. Already, Sir Celery just standing still. I'm guessing he didn't know that Nidalee was in there. Nidalee just checks a spear at him. Maybe he was all tabbed. I don't know.
That's
But
very big possibility.
Yeah. Nidalee taking dominance here as well. Goes right into the enemy jungle and says, I do not care. I'm going right into your jungle.
Graves is back here, which means it's possible for Coma to get a ward down and get a start on where their jungle pathing is. You see they put it on the Raptors, which means that Graves can't do a cheesy start that typically we see Rengars doing.
Right.
But Sir Celery might be
They want
actually starting there. Yeah, look at the saplings that are being placed in the top side of the map.
So, for the viewers that have no idea why junglers start at that Raptor camp, can you tell them why?
There's a couple of reasons. Mainly it's because of pathing, but also because if you can let your bot lane get into the lane as soon as possible, they can start pushing earlier and get to level 2 sooner. It's right now especially, but even historically, well, it looks like a little bit of an exchange here. But if whatever bot lane right now is getting to lane, typically wins. Just because you can start pushing sooner, you can get to level 2, and the first team that gets to level 2 can very commonly dictate the rest of the lane because you have so much pressure. Getting the extra skill and those extra stats allows you to take control pretty easily.
A lot of trading going down in the mid lane as well as in that top lane. It's very hard to face against a Mordekaiser when all he has is shields upon shields in his passive. That's just so incredibly annoying to face against, even as Maokai, where you have to get up and just start auto-attacking.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Yep.
Not unsurprisingly, Misfortune, Lucian being the bully in the bot lane, Mordekaiser being a presence early. Maokai versus Mordekaiser, I feel like Mordekaiser is going to be a little bit more difficult to deal with. In the first couple levels, we need Z3P to scale up a little bit for a sustain to be very meaningful. Looks like Graves is doing a topside clear, going to come back for the bot half of the map later. Maga's taking a lot of damage.
Yeah, Charm connects in the mid lane as well as the Orb of Deception. Ignite goes down there as well. Mandatory Cloud flashes in. Can he get the first blood? Ignite is ticking as well as the health potion out from Ari, but Ari just backs off to safety. That was incredibly close.
Yeah, very lucky for Mango. Both summoners were blown there for Mandatory Cloud, so both teams are going to be where the flashes are down. Junglers are likely going to be looking to gank in this mid lane soon. But because Mango has Ignite up after that exchange, that will give an advantage to WWB moving forward.
In the top lane, trading going down, even in the mid lane. Both flashes and the Ignite from Mandatory Cloud were blown, even in the top lane. A lot of trading again going on there, so almost kind of an even advantage in the mid lane. Only thing is, Mandatory Cloud is up just 10 CS, or 11 CS, there you go.
So Graves is clearing the bot side of the map, and Nidalee's already cleared her side.
Yeah.
It's very likely that Como will grab Scuttle and look to go for the top. Either a top side gank, a mid lane gank with flash down on Ari, or maybe some vision in his enemy's jungler.
Yeah.
In his enemy's jungle.
I was just going to add that. Even if you can't gank in a game, just warding up the enemy jungle is absolutely fine. Nidalee is looking for any advantage that she can, goes and just wards up the red buff, which was really good, and looking for maybe an overextension play towards the mid lane. Even Graves is pathing towards that bot side, slides over the wall, so we're going to be seeing a gank in the bot lane as well. A huge red panda starts off with the aggression. Snare connects because he flashes as well. Q lands as well. Even the flashes upon flashes there. First blood in the mid lane from Sir Celery. MF also pathing into the enemy jungle. Flashes to there as well. But
looks like she's looking for the execute.
Yeah, she's looking for the execute. I don't think she got autoed or anything there, so I'm guessing if she can get the execute, that could be perfectly fine as well. Flash is not available for Sir Celery. The smoke screen connects, and that's a double kill coming out at the end of the day for him. In the top lane, Spear connects onto Zip there. Even the tank coming out from Maokai, but maybe a trade for trade kills, but no. Loses the aggro just in time. Flash for flash, but it's a kill. Going over to the Maokai in the top lane. Not too much action happening in the mid lane as well, though.
Close but well executed dive in the top lane. Both junglers electing to be on opposite sides of the map. One ended up getting 2 kills instead of 1, but even though Ezreal and Karma were just ganked, they still don't have much of an advantage in this bot side of the map because Honi didn't back after that gank, and even if he did, he'd only have tier. I don't believe he has enough gold for. Oh, he does have gold for tier. Never mind, he has 37 CS. Of course, he has gold for tier. He has plenty of gold. But now that he's back, he's picked up his tier and boots. Hopes to get back to lane as soon as possible.
He needs that mobility to survive against the Lucian. All of the different Qs that are being launched, even the what is it? Rain of bullets coming out from MF. I don't know what the ability is called, but it's just when the bullets rain down upon you. You need to get out of that as quickly as possible. If you do get stuck in that, in the bot lane, aggression going down from Sky, even in the mid lane, Chaos Storm lands. But Ari easily gets her way out of that one.
One thing that's kind of noticeable is if you noticed in the top side of the map earlier, there was a ping on Graves when he was had his golems. There's no vision up there, but that's just like really, really immaculate jungle prediction through counting jungle CS and being aware of what camps are available for the enemy jungler to take.
Right.
So, good macro awareness by Team Sky by picking out and noticing where Graves is going to be, even though they had no vision of him at all.
I've talked with higher level teams, and they say the best junglers are the ones that can predict the movements of the enemy jungler as well. In the bot lane, a lot of aggression going down there. Double shot upon double shot coming out from Fear. Even the shooting coming down from MF in the bot lane as well. No real summoners being burned over onto the side of the Warm Winter Buddies. But the bully pressure from Lucian definitely showing his dominance.
Yeah, if you notice, there's there's Nidalee in the bot side.
Coma as well misses the spear, but just bots comes over the wall.
Yeah, if we notice the gold lead in the scoreboard up near the top of the screen, even though there is a kill advantage for WWB, because of the sheer amount of farm on each of the lanes, Lucian and Mandatory Cloud's Victor and Sita's Mordekaiser, each of them have a massive CS advantage, and that is why that gold lead is so skewed in the opposite direction that the score is. But Pony's still being bullied in this bot lane after that gank. He only has a tier where Lucian has his Vamp Scepter, so they can keep bullying and bullying, and there's not a whole lot they can do about it in the bot lane.
Mordekaiser in the top lane gets ganked. He has the armor passive, but is that enough to save his life? Twisted advance onto him, as well as the Maelstrom being popped from the Maokai.
Oh, he missed.
Dropped very low. Children of the Grave, can the last few get him? It does. Sir Celery as well. Can he get the final kill? The answer is yes. 1-for-1 trade there in the top lane, even in the mid lane. Mandatory Cloud is diving this. He gets the Q, even the laser off. Ignite is dropped as well, but the flash coming out from Ari there in the mid lane just means that Victor has to get out of there safely.
Oh my gosh, Z3P probably raging at his jungler for missing his ultimate point blank. Oh my gosh.
Yep.
If he didn't miss that, then Z3P would not have fallen there. Unfortunate turn of events for this gank. Well, it looked like a very clean 1-for-0. Turns in for a trade kill. Mordekaiser's coming back to lane with his first full item.
Right, that Rallies packs so much of a punch here in this top lane. Whenever you press that E on Mordekaiser, it applies a lot of poke, even the slow, so that Mordekaiser can get up to you, press Q. But
oh my gosh,
jungle invade coming out from Coma, but he gets deleted.
And
Graves, man. Whew.
Sir Celery showing us one of the reasons why Graves is such a contested pick right now. Can absolutely just blow up targets pretty instantaneously. I was playing a game yesterday and I saw Graves one-shotting people. I saw Nocturne one-shotting people, but Graves came in and their team just kind of disappeared. I was curious what Control Alt Delete he had installed, but even though there's a 2-to-4 kill lead for WWB, the incredible amount of CS right now leads a 1k gold lead for Team Sky.
PET Fear sees that the rest of the red team are doing this drag and the spear going wide onto that. Coma is looking for the steal, but cannot find it. Red team, Warm Winter Buddies, gets the first drag into the game, and that's that Infernal. The rest of the Warm Winter Buddies as well, just resetting after that dragon take. Bottom tower has fallen by the end of that one. Fear is looking huge on this Lucian, even though he has one death. He still has his boots. He's got the cutlass. He's applying a lot of damage there, even in the top lane. Mordekaiser showing his dominance and just applying all the damage he can. Mandatory Cloud just camps the bush. Chaos Storm is down. Spirit Rush back, forth, and all around there in the jungle. Goes right back towards the mid lane. A very nice, not flash or just ultimate burn from both of these teams. Yeah, that's it.
I'm really curious to see how much Sir Celery can carry his team with the lead he's got generated and how he chooses to prioritize the gold that he does have. He's being shown in the top side. And here comes Coma looking for either a counter gank or Might burst him down pretty quick here.
Could be a 2v2 here. Spear does not connect Children of the Grave. The spear eventually lands onto Graves. The burn, he's burning to death slowly, but levels up. So he's not going to die at the end of the day, but he flashes and he gets E'd from the ground. Spear going wide as well onto Maokai. But the Graves clone is controlled by the Mordekaiser, but is only going to be used to clear the wave so that they can get maybe first, or not first blood tower, they got first blood tower in the bot lane, but beautiful rotational play coming out from Sky. They got the bot lane tower transition to the lead into the mid lane, even in the top lane from this whole entire team.
You know, I was kind of questioning this Mordekaiser pick earlier, but he's kind of turning it into a pub stomp almost, making quick work of this Maokai, pushing him out of lane, killing him multiple times, getting kills that he probably shouldn't have been, and now that he's got his first tower and bot lane's got their first tower, they're playing their effective KT roster strat pretty well. They've got the lead that they want pretty strong. That's the third tower in 12 minutes.
Yeah.
Playing around the map pretty quickly.
Right. 4K lead going over for Team Sky here in this game. And this is where I really do want to watch, because in the past, we've only really watched Golden Plats and maybe Low Diamonds play in the certain types of leagues, but this is a high challenger or just a challenger team. So I do want to see what exactly do they do with their lead in order to close out this game, maybe in the next 8 minutes.
Yeah, there's a lot of people in solo queue that get to the stage and then just wonder, what do I do? And that's a common question to be had. One of the things is always to look for neutral objectives. And you have to remind yourself that you always want to try to look for a kill and turn that player advantage into an objective. Getting a kill and transitioning that into a kill.
Right.
Getting weird that the stream is a little bit too loud, so I'm going to turn it down just a little bit. All right, we'll leave it there. That sounds good.
There we go. But it's very interesting because MF went right from getting the tower into the mid lane, backing to base, and then setting all 4 of her wards down from her sightstone. I believe the sightstone only gives 4. And then she swept, I believe, 1 bush, clearing out 1 of the wards. So she, like, prioritized so much on vision in the top lane, and then went right towards the bot lane so that they can continue to aggress their aggression there in the top lane as well. Mordekaiser is so ridiculously fast. The slow upon slows is applying there onto the Maokai, but eventually has to back off at the end of the day. The rest of this team Sky squad are in this bot lane, just pounding away at this tower slowly but surely. Once they maybe get a pick on a rotation, anything that they can grab, that can mean just so much for this team.
One thing that can absolutely be learned from Team Sky this game is their SKT level vision strategy. Dropping 4 control wards on the map at the time. I believe I see 3 right now, but there was just 4. There's 4. There's 4 on the map right now. Towards the middle of the map, and then they have an incredible amount of wards elsewhere.
Oh, Coma, you found yourself in the wrong territory, buddy. Smokescreen goes wide as well. Sir Celery is slowly falling to low HP. The stun gets 2 people as well. Mango, he picks up 1 kill on Tacoma. Zap as well is chasing for his advantage. 1-for-1 trade so far in this fight. Spirit Rush as well is popped. In the mid lane, you see that Mordekaiser is right there. Maybe a pick going down in a couple of seconds. Mandatory Cloud, though, just shoves Maokai back towards his tower. A 1-for-1 trade here in this fight.
Well, that happened. Graves died. That's unfortunate for their team. But they did get the trade kill, so that's good. Right, getting the even trades is actually good when you're behind in gold, even though it doesn't look like it from their perspective, unless they're checking out the massive CS advantages. Oh my gosh, Victor almost having perfect CS in the mid lane, a solid 50 CS on his opponent, and then 20 to 30 CS in the side lanes as well. Bullet time coming out for the blue buff.
Trans.
They really wanted to burst it down, making sure that Celery couldn't come to it.
He's like, you want a leash? Here's your leash. Bullet time. Onto that buff.
The ultimate for the blue buff is
that's it.
Absolutely the thing to do, I guess.
Why not? You could do it if you really do want to. It's only a very small cooldown. It's already it's already a quarter of the way up, slowly halfway up as well. So all he really had to do is use it, go back to base, and now he's already halfway in towards the lane. Only thing Team Sky needs to note, though, is that it's down. That's really it. But in a couple of seconds, this next dragon will be spawning. It is that ocean dragon. the red team really do want it. They want that extra regen if they can really get it. Spear goes wide as well from Coma. He's aggressing. This jungle aggression is absolutely insane. He goes into the enemy jungler once, dies.
The flash.
Does not even matter with the flash charm. Connects end of the line as well. Sir Celery picks himself up one. That was beautiful.
Jungler's down. Z3P is not here though, so if Team Sky forces a fight,
very possible. True Shot Barrage connects, but the red team pick up the dragon and they reset.
Looks like Sir Celery is looking for the bot side of the map, maybe trying to get their first tower of the game.
Maybe. That's very possible. Graves is he's an absolute monster at taking towers. MF coming bot lane as well to add the aggression with Lucian. It looks like 3 members of this Warm Winter Buddy squad are in the bot lane, but a lot of damage coming out from TET. Fear Culling going wide for the time being. Sir Celery finding himself in the wrong situation. Bullet Time finds 1 member. Children of the Grave as well. C-Dead is here and he's ready to attack, ladies and gentlemen. Bullet Time comes down from the sky as well. Sir Celery being dropped as well as the Karma there in the bot lane. Double kill for Victor. And even the Ezreal drops at the end of the day. A couple kills going on over to the side of Team Sky.
This felt like a massive overextension from WWE. There was no eyes on Mordekaiser. They didn't know what was going on. They didn't have enough vision to know what was going on. And they overextended without a tower down here to try to get their own first tower. But when you don't have teleport on Maokai and he's chilling in the top side of the map, you can't go for these overly aggressive plays and not expect to be punished from them.
Few damage going out onto Mango. Barely does any damage since he's in the support role, this MF here. But Mandatory Cloud going into the top lane. Chaos Storm is dropped onto ZE3P. Those numbers and letters, man. Coma picks up a kill at the end of the day. Spear connects. And he gets a kill for his troubles there in the top lane.
You know, and unfortunately there's a massive gold difference. Like the current disparity between these two teams is 7,000 gold at 18 minutes. That is incredibly high.
Yeah.
But I mean, they have 2 dragons, so they're not completely being shut out from all objectives this game. They don't have a first tower yet, so that's kind of difficult. Right now, they don't have a decent establishment of vision, which is really going to be key for them coming back into this game. They need to get as much gold as possible and stall out the game as much as they can. They have Ahri, they have Ezreal, they have Maokai, they have Graves. They have a decent amount of wave clear, so they don't really want to be looking for much fights, especially around neutrals right now. But if they can get some picks, which they just did on Italy, so that they know that they can generate some picks. If they grab some and don't overextend too much or overcommit, it's still possible for WB to come back into this game. But Team Sky is definitely in control.
19 minutes into this game, like you said, Team Sky is absolutely dominant here in this game. They're just basically going into any lane that they can, and they're making something happen automatically. Spear does not connect there in the jungle. But one thing that does surprise me is how aggressive this Nidalee is being and just how much you can still get out of that aggression. She goes into the enemy jungle, she dies, but it does not even matter. Mango over the wall, Charm connects. Orbital Deception as well, but Mandatory Cloud saying, you want to try and fight me here, dude? It's not going to happen at this point in the game. Ping's going down onto the enemy red jungle. So MF goes there as well, but Warm Winter Buddies are kind of confused on what to really do here. There's a split coming out from all of these different lanes. Even the Mordekaiser are going to the bot lane, shoving that out. Rotates over the mid lane as well. In the top lane fight, connects. Mango's looking for the solo kill and finds it. Shut down for him there in the top lane.
Absolutely well played by Mango. Arya is a bit better of a duelist compared to Victor in most scenarios. Each of them have their merits, but the mobility from Mango means it's a lot easier for him to dash and dodge a bit of Man-Cloud's damage, but good pick from him, clawing his way back in, not willing to just peel over and admit defeat. But well played, my friend, well played.
There you go. So that's all it's really about. If Ari can get a couple of more picks, she's the one member along with Graves to try and carry this game right back into their favor. Mango gets stopped in that bush. Bullet time, it drops, but Mango, he finds the charm as well as Orbital Deception. TET Fear comes, Cutlass down, and he gets a kill onto the Ahri in the top lane.
Mango's like, what the heck, dude? Well, I was trying to 1v1 this dude in the top lane, And you'd show up and ruin it, but the 1v2 in the bot lane, 1v3 coming out too.
Grave gets dropped onto Sita there. The stun connects, but he falls there in the bot lane. 21 minutes in, Mordekaiser finds the grave as well.
Nidalee is looking around the backside of this. She's a little bit behind, but with quite a bit of damage. I don't think she'll want to go for this one to protect this tower, but in the top side of the map, Tethier, after getting the kill on Ahri, converts that kill into an objective by getting the inner top tower. And just like clockwork, bot tower drops, top tower drops, mid towers drop in too. 6 towers down for WWB, making it exceedingly difficult for them to come back into this one.
Right, it's insane because they make a little bit of a hiccup in the bot lane, but the rest of the members are still doing something. So even though Mordekaiser was the bot lane, he still drew 3 people towards him, allowing ManCloud to go into the mid lane, get a tower, and even the bot lane of Team Sky to go into the top lane and get that 1 tower.
You see, in any Elo Diamond 5 and minus, teams typically just randomly group in the mid lane. But if you look during this game, Team Sky is so good because what they're doing is they're grabbing a kill in the top lane, converting into a tower. Grabbing a kill in the bot lane, converting into something. So instead of just randomly deciding to group, find something somewhere and pressure advantage as much as you can. Because any single time WWB has overstepped, Team Sky has been there to slap them in the face saying, no, stop it, you can't do that. You can't be here.
Very weird positioning coming out from Team Sky here, but finds the advantage finally. 3 people of the Warm Winter Buddies are zoned out. Ahri is coming on from the left side, finds the charm as well as the root coming down from Maokai. Finds 1 kill on Tacoma. True Shot Barrage goes wide for the time being. Mordekaiser coming in, and Fear gets 1. Each dropped as well. Honey is finding himself on the wrong side of the fight. Gets dropped by ManCloud. The rest of Team Sky just need to go into this fight and be very aggressive. Mango is very low, and even Sita, they both drop. Mandatory Cloud is slowly gonna fall. Sir Celery finds a kill off of that. 4 for 2, going on over to the favor of the Warm Winter Buddies.
And you know, this wasn't unexpected. This team excels at their team fights, so even though there's a massive gold advantage, you have to be really careful about what you choose to fight with. And that nice flank from Mango and Z3P turned that fight on its head, and unfortunately, there wasn't enough of a front line for Team Sky to do much with it. And just as we saw in the LCK, KT Rolster trying to be a little bit too aggressive with their style of compositions, not proving too much for their team fighting. Though they have a massive lead, just shrank from 7 to 8k down to 5.5k, 6.5k. Okay, so not as big of a difference as I was expecting, but Team Sky, though that fight went in their didn't go in their favor, they still have a bit of control during this game. They have a bit more vision right now, and they still can do a lot with that.
Right.
But right now, it looks to me the WWB can choose to go for team fights and win them.
Right.
But right now in the bot lane, both of these, well, I guess in the bot lane, the top laners, the tanks of the bot lane, are they both have teleport. So though it looks like Baron is going to be the next neutral objective focused, or this top tower from Team Sky, we have the side lane pressure from Sasita that Z3P is trying to mitigate. And now Mango backs for the Victor's mid push.
3 members of the Warm Winter Buddies are in this top lane. They're pushing down onto this tower. Bullet time goes out to wave clear even better. ManCloud's in the mid lane as well. Sita's in the bot lane, he's in the bot lane. He's pushing his aggression down there. Looks like the rest of Team Sky are looking for a fight, knowing that this could potentially be a very nice fight for them. A lot of AoE damage onto Honey. He's dead for the time being, as well as the Chaos Storm is down onto Graves there. Spirit Rush goes in, finds its mark. Coma dies. 2 for 1 currently, but it looks like Mordekaiser's coming over from the right side. Let's see if he can do anything. It looks like also He's getting charmed up by the Ahri, slowly falling to low HP, but huge Red Panda falls as well. Sita, he's not dropping anything for the time being. He's very just kind of acting as that frontline style tool. Stun does not connect from Victor as well, but the rest of Team Sky are looking for their aggression towards this mid lane. But prefer pressure. Or prefer ward and vision at this point in the game.
Yeah, what we just saw was a mix of vision control and macro positioning. Mandatory Cloud walked back over, and before Mango could get there, the fight had already started. 4v3 popped out, and most of WWB was picked off before that fight was able to progress in a favorable manner for themselves. So, unfortunate for them, that fight would not turn out in their favor, but good coordination from Team Sky to get that going in their way. Mandatory Cloud, great rotations and macro play.
The rest of Team Sky just going to be resetting here in this game, getting all of the camps, all of the buffs that they can get at this point in the game. They're looking for their aggression play to try and close this out just that much faster. They're 9k above their opponents right now. So they're just looking for that little last bit of pick, maybe a couple of kills. They can aggress that, maybe into a Baron, into a tower. But it looks like the rest of Team Sky are pinging around this Baron just for vision for the time being and just wave clearing, ward clearing at this point in the game.
Right now, if we look at the gold from each individual party, the kills are pretty similar, but look at how drastically different the gold is just based upon the towers and the creep score. Oh my gosh. The massive 2.5k gold lead in the mid lane, the gigantic 3k gold lead for the AD carry Tet Fear, and in the top lane another massive 2k gold lead up there. But even though the jungle gold is quite even, oh my gosh, it's oh my god, I just can't get over the gold party. Even Misfortune has like a 2k gold lead on their opponent just because of the amount of towers that they've taken.
Yeah, Sir Celery as well
caught.
being aggressed on here in the jungle. Chaos Storm goes down, and as well, True Shot Barrage lands onto 3 people. This could be Mango's chance to maybe pop off here in the fight. TP comes in as well. Coma is being dropped to very low.
Health bars are so low.
Deception gets him, and as well the bullet time going out here. You see that Mordekaiser's at the front of this fight. He's trying to get as many members frozen as possible. Zip dies right at the end of that. My bad. And pings are going down onto this Baron at 28 minutes in the game.
Sir Celery, you cannot get caught out near the Baron, my friend. If you die over there, that's a pretty guaranteed Baron. And right now, I doubt that there's going to be any steal coming out from Huge Panda or Honey.
It's the possibility that always stands here. They have no jungler.
Oh, he can't get out now?
No. He eased into the pit, suicides for his troubles. TT Fear picks up the kill. Rest of Team Sky picks up the Baron.
That is a 80 to 90, probably a 90% victory so far. It's really unlikely for a comeback to occur right now that they have Baron. And if the macro play that has preceded them continues the rest of this game, it's very unlikely that Team Sky throws, but I'm curious to see if they do, but at this level, I very highly doubt it. Oh, so you did get caught in the mid lane. There's a lot of rotations, though.
In the mid lane. Again, rotation coming from the bot side of the map. Spear goes wide there as well. Sir Celery drops a very low HP. Coma gets one. Huge red panda just gets zapped to death. A double kill going over for Team Sky. True Shot Barrage connects. But the rest of Team Sky are pushing into this mid lane. 2-for-1 trade for this team.
And Sir Celery saw the pick, but oh hey, there's more action in the mid lane.
Mango goes from the left side as well, gets zapped down and pinned down from the Cougar. Ignite was dropped onto Lucian.
This might be game here.
As the Chaos Storm being dropped onto Maokai. He's tanking whatever he can, but it falls at the end of the day. The Cougar cuts down the tree with her claws and now is pounding on the base, knocking on Death's door. But the rest of Sky just go towards the dragon. They want to play it safe rather than maybe just win the game and just face Sir Celery here in a 3-versus-1.
Yeah, right now Team Sky's going to look to reset. Unfortunately, not going for the end game right there. Death timers weren't quite long enough for their fancy, but they're likely going to go to the top side of the map. If they prioritize dragon at all, or they can leave this dragon up, let it stall Elder, and then go to the bot side, get the bot inhibitor, and then look for the next Baron if they aren't able to end in the next 5 minutes.
Fear doesn't, or it does connect onto Sir Celery, but he gets out of that one alive. very close, I guess, trade in a sense. And Italy just didn't want to pick the fight with Graves. The rest of Sky just turned their attention towards the Dragon. That's their first Ocean of this game. The next Dragon is going to be that Elder, but do they even need it? Do they even want this game to progress through the 37-minute mark when it does spawn? They're going to be using Mordekaiser's Dragon towards that bot lane to take the towers down just that much faster. The rest of this red team has to, I guess, be scared of this Dragon and just a whole entire Baroned up team of Team Sky.
Man, I always forget that Mordekaiser gets this massive Dragon when he uses ultimate. Oh, see, they're going a little bit deep.
Yep, he gets charmed up right there in the fight. Armor is enough for him to live for the time being. Even the heal coming out from Nidalee, he has to back to base, but has TP available to him. The Dragon as well, just applying a lot of damage onto these different members. Make it rain. Falls Celery to very low HP as well. Poke upon poke coming out from Team Sky here in this bot lane. They just want to try and find anything that they really can to try and close out this game just a little bit faster. Redemption going down onto them as well. Minions are in the mid lane. They send Ezreal to that as well. Sir Celery maybe going a little bit too far, but gets out of this one alive for the time being. Baroned up minions have gone away. Bullet time coming down. Even the Chaos Storm on
that tower's low.
He's falling very low. The tower is gone right now. The laser does not connect onto Karma, maybe dropping her in the fight. Even the little stun pit from Victor not catching anybody for the time being. Inhibitor falls at 32 minutes in the game. They're looking for one more inhibitor, Frosty, and it's not enough time for this red team to come back into this game.
Though Baron is spawning in a while.
Yep.
If it took them a lot longer to take this bot tower, which of course it didn't. But the reason that they went bot side first was because that's a bit more powerful of an inhibitor. Because when people have to back to look at the super minions on the bot side of the map, it takes them longer to get to Baron, which would be the next neutral objective that they take. And right now, when they go pressure in the top side of the map and they pressure for this last inhibitor, they can be closer to Baron, or Team Sky can be closer to Baron for if that comes up at a time where their inhibitor's down. But hey, duel here.
Cloud being aggressed on by Sir Celery, as well as the ultimate coming out from Graves. The exhaust goes down, but he falls. A 1-for-1 trade there in the top lane.
Panda, you're too close.
He's using his big hammer or whatever that's called. It's like a mace. There you go. It's called
a mace. Yeah, it's a mace.
That's a mace. Jeez. That's okay. But in the top lane, it goes down, but he cannot get a kill at the end of the day. The rest of this red team are defending this top side tower as best as they can. True Shot Barrage comes in to clear the minions as well. 33 minutes in the game. The rest of the Sky Squad are trying to get the tower.
This Sky Squad coming in for this game knows what they're doing. They're going to look to siege this tower, though they have to be careful that Sir Celery is going to be up before Mandatory Cloud. So this is a potential 4v5 in a bit here. And there's a ton of wave clear on the side of WWB, which would stall this, but there's a bunch of super minions pushing over towards the mid and bot side of the map.
They're forcing Ahri to go and get that, as well as the Graves in the mid lane. Very nice pressure coming out from Team Sky here in this game. We cannot stop talking about that. It's just time and patience before this tower goes down for them. They just need to get their marksman onto that tower as best as possible.
They can force a fight here, 4v5.
Looking for an engage. The Mantra E comes out, but cannot really find any aggression. Ahri is forced to stay in that base, and Victor is looking for any vision that he can.
This is a hard call. Ahri has to clear the supers.
Yep, you have no idea what's going to happen here in this game. Can Ahri defend it? Or is Team Sky just going to rampage into this base? All of these questions will be asked in a couple of seconds. The mid lane inhibitor comes back up as well. Mango finds the charm onto Zeta. Bullet time comes out. Going wide for the time being. That means an ultimate is down. Yeah. So the rest of Team Sky just have to back off. A very nice aggression style call. But they go back and they're looking, and they have sights on Baron.
Right now they can back into the Baron side, because they were close enough to it. They could clear as much vision as they want to. And Sir Celery are likely gonna try to go for a steal here. If they succeed another Baron, it is unlikely for them to come back to this game. But that Baron's dropping very quickly. That's absolutely gone right now.
Very quickly, like you said, Team Sky gets their second Baron of this game. Very nice competition coming in from both of these teams actually in this series. Ari, Graves, and Maokai are showing their aggression. Even the bot lane of the Warm Winter Buddies are showing their aggression here in this game. Very nice. Hopefully they can take this VOD and just get whatever they can from it so they can come back next week and maybe try and learn something from this. Or I am speaking too soon and the rest of Warm Winter Buddies just come back in this series and just absolutely blow my mind.
Man, dude, that's a caster's curse. It's like it looks like it's at least 90%, but like there's probably 90. It's probably 95%, but
yeah.
In case that incredible comeback comes out, I think this game is very likely over as well. There's not a whole lot can be done, but there's a pick from Koma.
Oh, it's very possible. The charm connects onto Koma. He pops the Zhonya's as well. Can the rest of his team maybe help him out?
Oh, Mancloud!
Maokai goes into the fight. Mancloud dies as well. Maokai is aggressing in this mid lane. The flash, twisted advance, pop, double kill over for this Ezreal. He wants to continue to go. Flash coming out from him as well. The burn from him is going down onto the enemy team. And Warm Winter Buddies find their chance back in the game.
Oh, but Super Minions in the base. They're probably going to lose a Nexus Tower here.
Yep, Nexus Tower falls like you just said. Mordekaiser is over that wall. The rest of this red team are aggressing in this mid lane. DT Fear, you went way too far up. Smokescreen gets him at the final blow. And this tower is falling here in the mid lane.
Is that the caster's curse?
Showing their weaknesses. I'm so sorry. Jesus. The rest of this red team are aggressing here in this mid lane. The towers are falling. Inhibitor falls from Warm Winter Buddies. Sky is showing their weakness.
They're going for the Elder Drag.
Their pings are going down onto this giant buff. The rest of this team are just absolutely freaking out. I can just not imagine
has like
what the comms are like. Yeah. This is absolutely insane. 10k lead.
They gotta burst this quick though.
Sky, they have to get it. With Graves, I think they can very well do that. Koma is over that wall. He has to go in for a steal if he wants to try and get it. Spear goes into the pit. 4k health, 3k health, 2k health goes down the other dragon. Graves smites it. And the Warm Winter Buddies are back in the game.
They really want to get out. Yeah, that's... the Team Sky's letting this game last a little bit too long. The other team has a really good team fight, so even though you have a massive gold lead, it doesn't matter if they team fight really well. And oh my gosh, the absolutely clutch charms from Mango the Magus and multiple of these fights. He landed some pretty impressive ones that land the death from Koma and from Mandatory Cloud that turned that fight immediately into a 5v3. Well played by him. Nice pursuit from there on out. Z3P going ham. Sir Celery doing so much damage. I'm really curious how much damage Sir Celery has done this game. But oh my gosh, the comeback is real.
He's absolutely popping off here on this Graves, and finally Ezreal coming into that last fight and auto-attacking as much as he can, landing all of his abilities there. Team Sky is forced to play almost kind of the defensive game here at this point in the game. They're pushing towards this mid lane as well, getting any of the vision that they can, but they cannot lose sight on the victory. The goal of this game is that enemy Nexus. One tower stands before them that is guarding the Nexus for the time being. Baron has not come up yet here in this game, but the rest of this red team squad are in as well. The bullet time is being dropped onto many people. Sir Celery flashes over the wall, exhaust down onto him. Ultimate comes out from Graves there. He picks himself up one onto the MF that was over that wall. The rest of this red team squad are pushing this mid lane. They ping that the minions are stopping them from trying to end this game just that much faster. But they're aggressing towards this mid lane. Their sights are off of the other side lanes. They're trying to end through mid. But at this point in the game, you cannot lose focus. You can't just slip down like this. You need to just go into these other lanes and push the side waves. Mordekaiser as well, stopping the rest of the minion wave. Mantra E is popped. But I'm guessing Mordekaiser can easily get out of that one. Here. Spear rush. 1 and 2. Flash coming out from Mordekaiser there in the mid lane. Orb of Deception hits from Mango onto Mordekaiser. A lot of, I'm guessing it's just confusion coming out from this red team squad. Sita as well is falling very low. GA is popped even. So he's just going to be suiciding here at the end of the day. Stops the minion wave and maybe stops the end. Wasting a lot of time on that Elder Dragon.
Dude, he's kind of stalling the game, which is not what Team Sky wants at all. They had to end much sooner, and now that the game's lasted 45 minutes, This is a possible comeback story. Oh, Mancloud's getting pretty close, but Sir Celery's taking so much damage.
Wow, he's going down on the aggression. The Chaos Storm drops him. MF with the bullet time. TP coming up from the right as well, but does not finish it up. The rest of the Sky squad is looking for the rest and maybe even the end here. Huge red panda almost being dropped but flashes away. Coma and the rest of Sky are just pushing down in the mid lane. The pings are going down onto the different side lanes. Them as well cannot lose aggression here at this point in the game. They need to go into the side lanes again and get the inhibitors that they need to get.
Yo, I think Sir Celery is dying a little bit too much for his team's sake. Yep. That last death might have swung it back into Team Sky's favor. This is an intense game. Oh my gosh, everything's getting close. Team. Oh my gosh.
Face checks a
oh my God.
This is not what you want. He's falling very low, but the Zhonya's just saves him right at the end. He hops out of that one, hop, skip, and a jump, and he's out of there. Even Maokai is falling to low HP. The Nidalee Spear does not connect. Redemption coming down from the sky. Huge red panda. He's locked up. Can he get out of that one? But he gets out of it alive with the flash bullet time. Oh, it has me on the edge of my seat, Frosty. I'm freaking out.
Same.
Can they end the game? Team Sky at 42 minutes in the game. The culling comes out. On to Graves there in the top lane. Even the Maokai is being rooted up by Mandatory.
They really want to end here.
The rest of this Sky squad, they need that one tower. They want to kill it so very badly. The minions are hitting on it right now. The rest of Team Sky, they're taking this very slowly.
They have good wave through, though.
I cannot imagine what the comms are like here in this game.
Take 3 inhibs.
You gotta take all 3 inhibitors if you do want the super minions. Once you do get the super minions for each of the waves, that's when the advantage fully goes into your favor. Baron is coming up as well. The rest of Team Sky is playing this safe and going back to base.
Oh my gosh. A great pick on one side, and then another great pick on the other team that led to another good collapse that prevented the death of Mango. Okay. What? I'm almost at a loss for words. Like, this is an intense game. And totally due to the comps that each team has drafted. Team Sky built an early scaling team, and they have a massive gold advantage, and they're talented players that are outplaying their enemy. But the team fight is impressive as well from the other team.
Going into this fight, Spear rushes into that one. This is a humongous fight. Bullet time goes down.
Wait, what are they doing?
Onto 2 people. Mango and huge red panda gets popped. And even Ari right at the beginning of that fight as well. Maokai is falling to very low HP even. Shusha Barrage not doing a lot of damage. DA gets popped. Coma finds himself the grave. TET Fear stays right at the back of the fight. Kills the tree, and the rest of Sky are pinging down onto this Nexus. Even the tower. They want one more kill. The tower falls. They're going to stop the
base is in
as
shambles.
much as they can. Minions are hitting on the base, but the rest of Sky pings onto the Baron. What are you doing? You guys got to get into the enemy base. There's so many minions in this base as well. Sir Celery trying to clear it as much as possible, but that's going to be the game. Frosty at 44 minutes into the game, 30-25. Team Sky take this game. That was so incredibly close.
Oh my gosh. Oh. Holy crap. That just happened.
That was close, man.
Dude, that was a fantastic game.
That was awesome.
Oh, well, like, the expected outcome happened, but that was a well-fought game by,
Heck yeah. Warm Winter Buddies.
Yeah, Warm Winter Buddies, well played. Though, there was a couple blunders here and there. They managed to outplay Team Sky in a couple areas and almost come back in this game more than once. But at the end of the day, Honey never built Triforce on Ezreal.
Yep. It's the little things that can make the game here at Ascension eSports. If you don't build Triforce. That's it.
Well, like, full build came out on Graves, and eventually, like, if their team macroed well and didn't get caught out a little bit, maybe they could have won that one, but at the end of the day, the better team came out with the victory, and there's a reason they're so good.
And I do want to add that going into this game, we thought that this was going to be a 20-minute stomp. So that's why we think it was a very well-fought game, just because if you're taking a high-level challenger team against some diamond players and you take them to 44 minutes in the game and almost throw the game, then that, I feel like, to me, that's a really well-fought game. just from my perspective. But
looking at the drafts from the game, it was pretty obvious what these teams wanted to do. Team Sky wanted to get an early lead, and they did. They effectively did their comp's job. And as the later that WWB stalled the game, the better their team fighting got, and the less the gold mattered. And because of how long WWB was able to hold on and prevent the end, I think that they played this at least quite well, but there was just too many mistakes at the end of the day. Even after they got some 2 or 3 impressive team fights and held on for dear life, I was kind of unfortunate that they weren't able to come back all the way, even though they showed signs of a comeback.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, we have one more game ahead of us for tonight, I believe. So just stay tuned. We'll be back in a couple of seconds, but do not go anywhere. Ascension eSports' Phoenix League, week number 2. We'll be right back.